Imagine a vast sea, a fleet of wooden ships, and a weapon so terrifying it burns on water. This isn't a scene from a fantasy epic, it's real history. For centuries, the Byzantine Empire, the eastern continuation of the Roman Empire, held a secret that made them nearly invincible at sea. It was a weapon so devastating that its recipe was guarded more closely than the emperor's life. A weapon that single-handedly turned the tide of wars and crushed the seemingly unstoppable Arab conquests. This is the story of Greek fire, the mysterious and terrifying superweapon of the medieval world. What was it? How did it work? And why did its secret vanish from history? Get ready, because we're about to dive deep into one of history's most fascinating and fiery mysteries. The year is 674 AD. The mighty Umayyad Caliphate, expanding at an astonishing rate, sets its sights on the jewel of the Byzantine Empire, Constantinople. A massive Arab fleet, confident in its numbers and its string of victories, sails to blockade the city. From the perspective of the Arabs, the fall of Constantinople was not a matter of if, but when. The city was surrounded, its resources were dwindling, and its people were terrified. But the Byzantines had an ace up their sleeve, something the invaders could never have anticipated. As the Arab ships closed in, the Byzantine vessels, known as dromons, sailed out to meet them. But they didn't engage in traditional naval combat. Instead, from bronze tubes mounted on their bows, they unleashed roaring jets of liquid flame. The sea itself seemed to ignite. The fire clung to the Arab ships, their sails, their rigging, and their panicked crews. Water, the traditional enemy of fire, was useless. In fact, it seemed to make the flames burn even hotter. The Arab fleet was utterly annihilated, not by swords or arrows, but by a terrifying, unquenchable inferno. The siege was broken, Constantinople was saved, and the legend of Greek fire was born. So what was this almost magical substance? Historians and scientists have debated this for centuries. The exact formula was a state secret of the highest order, known only to the emperor and a handful of trusted chemists. We know it was a petroleum-based mixture, likely containing components like crude oil, sulfur, and possibly pine resin to make it sticky. Some theories suggest it might have included quicklime, which reacts exothermically with water, generating intense heat and potentially igniting the other components. This would explain why dousing it with water was so ineffective. The delivery system was just as ingenious as the chemical itself. It was called a siphon, a pressurized bronze tube operated by a pump. This device acted like a medieval flamethrower, projecting the liquid fire with a deafening roar and a thick cloud of smoke. Imagine the psychological impact on an enemy sailor. You're on a wooden ship, and suddenly a jet of fire that can't be put out is spewing towards you, turning your vessel into a floating funeral pyre. It was pure terror. This weapon wasn't a one-hit wonder. It was the Byzantines' secret key to naval supremacy for over 500 years. In 717 AD, the Arabs returned, this time with an even larger force, a flotilla so vast it was said to number over 1,700 ships. Once again, they laid siege to Constantinople. And once again, Greek fire came to the city's rescue. The Byzantine navy, though heavily outnumbered, used their fiery weapon with devastating precision, burning a huge portion of the attacking fleet. This victory was arguably even more significant than the first. It permanently halted the Arab naval advance into Europe from the east and secured the survival of the Byzantine Empire for centuries to come. Without Greek fire, the history of Europe could have been dramatically different. Constantinople might have fallen 700 years before it actually did, potentially opening the door for a Muslim conquest of the Balkans and beyond. The effectiveness of Greek fire lay not just in its destructive power, but in the secrecy surrounding it. The Byzantines went to extreme lengths to protect the formula. Revealing the secret was considered the highest form of treason, punishable by death. They created a powerful mystique around the weapon, claiming it was a divine gift delivered to the first Christian emperor, Constantine, by an angel. This narrative served a dual purpose. It discouraged internal betrayal and amplified the fear it instilled in their enemies. Captured Byzantine chemists would rather die than reveal the recipe. Enemy spies who tried to steal it simply vanished. For centuries, the rest of the world could only watch in awe and terror, trying desperately and failing to replicate the sea fire, as they called it. Now, I want to take a quick pause here. We're diving deep into some incredible history, and I have so much more to share with you, including how the secret was eventually lost forever. If you're finding this as fascinating as I do, and you want to keep exploring the most amazing and often hidden stories from our past, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. It takes just a second, but it tells YouTube you love this kind of content, and it helps our community of history lovers grow. It's the best way to make sure you don't miss our next deep dive. Go on, click it now. I'll wait. Okay, thank you so much. Let's get back to the fire. While most famous for its use at sea, Greek fire wasn't just a naval weapon. The Byzantines were incredibly innovative and adapted it for various uses. They developed handheld versions, precursors to modern flamethrowers, called kyrosophones, which could be used by soldiers in sieges to clear walls of defenders. They also packed the substance into ceramic jars and launched them with catapults, creating explosive firebombs that would shatter on impact. The psychological effect of these weapons was immense. The Rus, a group of Vikings who repeatedly attacked Constantinople, described Greek fire as lightning from heaven. They were so terrified of it that it became a major deterrent against future naval assaults from the north. The weapon gave the Byzantines a technological edge that allowed their often smaller, professional army to punch far above its weight against numerous and determined foes on all fronts. So, with a weapon this powerful, why don't we have flame-throwing navies today? What happened to Greek fire? This is perhaps the most intriguing part of the story. The secret wasn't stolen or sold. It simply faded away. The decline of Greek fire is tied to the decline of the Byzantine Empire itself. This was a catastrophic event. The city was looted, its treasures stolen, and its people massacred. The empire was shattered into several smaller states. In the chaos and fragmentation that followed, the tightly guarded, centralized system that had protected the secret for centuries broke down. The specialized chemists who knew the formula were likely killed or scattered. The workshops were destroyed. When the Byzantines eventually recaptured their capital over 50 years later, they were a shadow of their former selves. The institutional knowledge was gone. The great secret had been lost in the fire and smoke of their own burning capital. By the 14th and 15th centuries, a new technology was rising that would change warfare forever: gunpowder. Cannons offered a new, more powerful way to destroy ships and fortifications from a distance. While Greek fire was terrifying, it was a short-range weapon that required getting dangerously close to the enemy. Cannons could sink a ship from far beyond the reach of a siphon. As the Byzantine Empire crumbled, it lacked the resources to maintain its specialized chemical core and instead adopted the newer, more widely available gunpowder technology. The final siege of Constantinople in 1453 by the Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II was a battle of cannons, not Greek fire. The last vestiges of the Roman Empire fell, and with them, the final memory of their legendary sea fire vanished from the world of active warfare, becoming a thing of myth and academic debate. The story of Greek fire is a powerful lesson in the importance of technological superiority and the devastating consequences of losing it. For half a millennium, it was the shield of Byzantium, a secret that protected an empire and shaped the course of Western civilization. It repelled invasions, preserved a center of learning and culture, and held the line against seemingly unstoppable forces. Its loss highlights the fragility of even the most powerful secrets and institutions. Today, all we have are fragmented accounts, secondhand descriptions, and scientific theories. The true recipe for Greek fire remains one of history's most enduring unsolved mysteries, a testament to a lost empire and its fiery, unforgettable legacy. Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey back in time. What other historical mysteries or superweapons should we investigate next? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can join our next exploration into the past. See you in the next video.